talk about it. We starting a new year, man. Talking about the tough topics, the topics that may seem obvious but not so obvious. We talking about personal credit, and the reason I'm specifying personal credit is because there's a such thing as business credit, which is very different than personal credit, right? So we're talking about personal credit and why does it matter? Why does your personal credit matter, right? Now, now, let's just straight up just explain what personal credit is and what does that mean, right? Alright, is what you do by showing your trustworthiness when it comes to paying your bills on time. Y'all hear me always talk about responsibility, responsibility, responsibility. Your trustworthiness for paying your bills on time, right? Your trustworthiness, right? How trustable are you? How reliable are you? How much are you going to pay on time? It may sound redundant, but it is very, very key because if I loan you some money, you don't pay it back on time. The next time, I'm probably thinking you're not gonna pay me back. It's just the facts of the matter, right? It's the history of it, right? We judge people off that history and that experience. So another second part that I really want to talk about, right? Because I mentioned paying your bills on time. We always talk about paying your bills on time. I want to talk a little bit about those bills that actually go onto your personal credit and can affect your credit, right? Now, some of these bills can actually more so just affect your credit negatively, and they won't really have a positive effect on your score. So let's talk about some of the bills that we really don't pay attention to, but I see on people's credit report all the time, right? So utility bills is number one, right? We're talking about utility bills such as Pico and gas bills, right? And I'm gonna say this because utility bills are so important because a lot of times people move out of apartments and move out of properties and they forget to shut the utility bills off. That utility bill is still running in your name, you end up not paying it, or you was living with a spouse, you all separate, somebody ends up not paying the bill, and now that bill goes on your credit report. I always see tremendous amount of Pico bills, um, electric bills and gas bills on people's credit report, which I have removed. Right? So always pay attention to utilities because think about it. When you pay your gas bill, it don't really make your credit score go up. When you pay a Pico bill, it don't really make your credit score go up. However, when you don't pay it and it goes into collection, it will affect your credit score. So always try to pay attention to those utilities. And even if your bill get pretty high, say depending on how the weather is outside, just make a payment onto your utility bill, right? Child support is another one that will end up on your credit report for non-payment. You can also go to jail for non-payment of child support, right? That's a whole nother topic. But once again, you don't gain positive credit when you pay your child support. You don't gain positive credit for that. But if you don't pay it, it ends up on your credit report. It damages your score. So I really want y'all to pay attention to the things that don't really help our credit scores, like credit cards and loans, but they will end up on our credit report. Evictions is a big one too. Not only will evictions damage your credit score, it literally ruins, or a 90% chance, 80% chance ruins your chances of getting apartments because eviction is one of the biggest red flags that landlord and property management companies actually look at, right? So evictions will end up on your credit report for non-payment of rent or being evicted from the property, right? And you'll have like a judgment where that balance is due, right? All right, next we got medical bills. Now, medical bills is very interesting because there's a such thing as HIPAA law, right? So if you have medical bills on your credit report, you need help getting them removed. We could go a little bit more in details with that, but it's a such thing called a HIPAA law, right? So the medical bills ends up on your credit report. Medical bills can be very, very expensive. They can be very, very costly. They cost a lot of money, right? Medical bills. However, when we pay them, they don't really help our credit. When we go to the doctors, go get a bill in the mail, co-pay, whatever, but it will affect our credit if it's on there. Phone bills such as T-Mobile, Sprint, companies that you have contracts with, that will affect your credit. And the worst part about a lot of these bills, and we're gonna go to this last one in a second. The worst part about a lot of these bills, guys, with like phone bills, utility bills, um, you know, things like that, gas bills, is that sometimes I see this when people credit report, and a balance is literally $100. It's $85. It's $43. I do not want these. items on your credit report damaging your score over $43. Okay. And lastly, co-signing. I talked earlier about paying utilities and things like that in your name when you're living with somebody, but also you may have co-signed for a loan, auto loan, personal loan. People do it a lot with auto loans, living places to live, apartments. When you co-sign, if that account goes into collection, you are affected, even if you was just a co-sign. So always pay attention to bills that you co-sign for family members and friends, because it will end up on a credit report. So I just want you guys to pay attention, understand that personal credit is super, 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 super important, right? Is it about your trustworthiness? I want you to pay attention to the bills that do not necessarily help your credit or will hurt your credit if you do not pay them or if you simply forget about them, right? Some people is just not organized. Sometimes we can simply forget, but I want you to pay attention to your utility bills, your child support, your rent payments, your medical bills, your phone bills, and any type of co-signing activity that you may have. If you are watching this on YouTube, visit preciouscredit.net. And I'm going to see you on the other side. The Instagram is I am Precious Thompson. Peace out. I hope this helps.